Happy 4th of July, everybody. I figured it'd be fun to come visit my parents on the farm, so we're in the porta potty today. And due to the holiday, I decided to go see Young Washington because America.
Prove them wrong.
What better way to celebrate 250 years of independence than watching a movie about one of the guys that gave us independence? This movie follows George Washington in his early years when he was enamored by the English military and wanted to rise up through the ranks. It shows his journey of failures and lessons learned as he fought in the French and Indian War. But the question is, was it good? As far as historical accuracies and just a patriotic movie, yeah, I enjoyed it. But when you factor in everything else that makes a movie good, I would say it was okay. No offense, George Washington or patriotism, but I think cinematically it wasn't the best. At times it felt a little corny, though my 71-year-old dad loved it, so take it as you will. Let's start with the good. It smells in here. The historical accuracy was great. I always look up after I see a movie just to see what was real and not, and I can still enjoy the movie, but it's always nice to know it actually was factual. And if these are spoilers, I guess you should learn your history. But we see a bunch of cool events happen. George Washington getting the bullet holes in his military uniform and his hat, walking across the frozen river. And we see him making a lot of poor decisions at the beginning, which really added to the story and things I didn't know. We see him make decisions that cost people's lives. He learns from them, and then it helps him grow into the man we know today, or the man that we know that is talked about today from 250 years ago. Of course, there are some quotes that they made up for the movie that made it feel a little corny and cheesy, but hey, that's Hollywood. Or, not quite Hollywood. That's Angel Studios. The movie also escalated from the very beginning. It started out slow, picked up pace, and halfway through I was disappointed. I'm like, is this it? Because I thought it was almost the end of the movie because I was pretty into it. I'm like, wow, George is just kind of an idiot, and he's prideful, and this isn't inspiring me at all. Where's the patriotism? And then the second half starts and it just keeps going. And that's how you want your movie to go. You want it to keep growing and building to the end. The action scenes were fairly decent, especially for a lower budget movie. I thought they did a good job. It didn't blow me out of the water, but let's just say it was decent enough. And then we got some cool cameos. We have Kelsey Grammer, Andy Serkis, Mary Louise Parker, and Ben Kingsley. Some pretty big names in the film made by Angel Studios, so I thought that was a big win. Alright, before we get to what I feel held this movie back from being great, do we just suck with our grammar nowadays in the modern day? Don't go rewatch my videos. I know I suck. I know I mix my words up. But man, in this movie, they're quoting people left and right. They're quoting poetry, plays, historical figures. And nowadays, I don't know, when you romance a woman or are inspiring a friend, we just kind of say, hey, I think you're beautiful, babe. Or, you got this, man. But back then, they're straight up like, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss, the Lorax. I just noticed back then, they were very eloquent in their speech. First of all, the score. The score can make or break a movie, in my opinion. When you have great background music, it can really inspire. And this movie missed that. I didn't really ever feel empowered and crazy inspired because the score just wasn't super influential in my opinion. They also had some cheesy quotes and dialogue. They had this ongoing thing about even a pawn can beat a king. And it was good, but it was also a little on the nose, just continuous. Or someone tells George in the movie, you're the only leader on this battlefield. Never actually happened. I looked it up and it's not bad. It just felt kind of, I don't know, like in your face, dumbed down. And then one of his friends says, fight battles you can win, George. You know, foreshadowing that eventually he's going to fight against the British and the odds were against him. The dialogue wasn't bad, but at times between the dialogue and some of the acting and visuals, it felt like a History Channel movie. Not the cinematic experience I was hoping for. Still better than a History Channel movie, but kind of a blend, I guess. It had cinematic elements, but then again, if I'm going to the theater, I don't want to watch a History Channel movie. The cameos felt a little forced at times. Yeah, Ben Kingsley's great. Andy Serkis, the others, especially Kelsey Grammer. It's like, hey, look, we got this big actor for 2 minutes. And yes, it's a win because Angel Studios is small, but it definitely kind of shows that they're small and they're just kind of flexing for a moment. And then the visuals, for a lower budget, it was decent. but they used a lot of CGI that looked off at times for the background. They did that whole camera shutter thing that they showed back in war times back in the day. I'll throw up an example right now, but just where it looks choppy, and I've never liked when movies do that. It instantly takes me out of the experience. But all in all, I'll say this. It was still a fun movie to watch, especially considering the dates lined up with what's going on now. I mean, July 3rd, George Washington experienced one of his greatest losses. But July 4th, one of the best victories in the entire history of the planet. And as someone who likes to be patriotic, it was fun to watch. I'm glad they made it. It was a lot better than The Last Rodeo from last year and other Angel Studios films, so you can see that they're getting better and they're growing. But it wasn't quite up to par as what it could have been. Not that every movie needs to be just insanely epic, but if I'm going to the theater, there's elements I still want to see. You should go see it for yourself, especially this time of year, and let me know what you think. Did you feel inspired? Did you like this film? Or do you wish you had seen something else? Let me know in the comments, and as always, come back for more movie reviews. Oh, I can't flush, and that's disgusting.